Hello, hello, everybody. Thanks for showing up for the first episode of Monday Night Slot Cars. Who all we have here tonight so far? So I see Matt commented, Rich wants to win. Hey, Mayor. Then we got Kenny. Keep showing up, Sims. Oh, yeah, if I go ahead and send me the stuff you got. I just don't have the time to do anything right now, dude. That's why I commented on Danny's video, time and money. Don't we wish we had more of both? Don, don't you wish you knew? I haven't had a chance to go through everybody's emails that won prizes, that I don't have your information. Oh, there I go. My phone finally let me know I was live. So yeah, if you've won a prize and you haven't already got me your information, get it to me tonight, because now I have a printer, so I can start printing my labels and start shipping stuff off. So everybody that has got the information to me, your stuff's going out tomorrow morning, and you should receive an email sometime tonight. And then I'm going down. Hey, there's Adam. There's my buddy. How's it going, man? Hope you had a good day at work. Angela, hello. Thank you for showing up. Hope you and the family are having a nice evening at home. There's Matt. How's it going, buddy? There's James. All right. Really? Okay. Well, I tell you what. Just try to show up for next Saturday night, and we'll just add that to the giveaway list as a special giveaway all by itself that you donated, that you won, man. That way you get the credit for it. Hey, James. Hey, Patrick. Thank you for showing up. Arbuckle. Howdy, buddy. Hey, Mike. Thank you for showing up. Wave. Hey, Doug. Hey, you should be getting an email tonight. Your shirt came in today. Yay! So just in about 2 weeks, you should have your shirt. I'm sorry, man, but it'll be into Chicago before the end of the week. But like I do, it's going to go through customs there. Then it's got to go through your distribution customs in Canada, and then it'll get shipped to you. So, but anyway, the good news is it's going out tomorrow. Hey, Bill. Thank you, mate, man. Yeah, I saw he went on live with 2 different lives earlier today, and both times I was running. That's why I didn't get stuff out last night, is because I didn't realize I was where my printer ink would do these lines on stuff, and I knew that wouldn't scan just from previous experience. And so by the time I found that out, everybody was closed. So that's what I had to do immediately after work, so that I could be back here in time to get the stuff set up for tonight's show. So. Hey, man, no problem, Doug. Hey, Rich. Thank you for showing up, buddy. Appreciate it. I haven't had a chance to watch your videos yet, but trust me, when I will, because I'll comment. Hey, Mark. The car that Adam donated to you that he won during the auction, you'll get an email notification tonight. It's shipping out tomorrow, my friend. Wow. Man, maybe I need to send you cars, Patrick. That's awesome, man. Almost $800. Holy cow. I don't even make that in a month of selling cars on my auction. That's awesome. Man, we got 29 people here tonight. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Like I said, this is going to be an ongoing series for Monday nights. Like I said, if you missed the show Saturday night, I'll just give a brief synopsis of what's going to be going on, since this is the episode 1. Basically, there's a lot of things that are at Scott's House of HO Racing that aren't in this room, and that it's too much of a pain in the rear. And anyway, to move all this equipment and try to show everybody stuff that is in the living room for display, for anybody that does actually get to visit and stuff like that. So I thought it would be kind of cool to show the stuff that you guys never get to see, and probably won't get to see, just because of the technical issues and the hassle of it all. And I know that trying to do something with my phone sucks because of the internet connection and the Wi-Fi. I saw how bad it looked on Kenton's show on Slot Cars and HO Trains, and I apologize to anybody that had to put with that torture of that video. So I've learned my lesson. I won't do that anymore. But suffice to say, that's what led me to this daydream, and then talking with Adam. Once again, everybody give Adam a round of applause and thank him and his wife for donating the giveaway, as well as Don't You Wish You Knew. He gave away another giveaway for this next Saturday that on a gift that he won. So he's won 2 gifts, and he's giving them both away. So awesome. Thank you, man. Hey, Steffi. Hey, Juan. Thank you for showing up, man. Oh yeah, no, I could tell that when I gave those away last week. See, that was one of those deals where I took advantage of the Pro Tinker sale and bought double, and so those were the cars that I bought. But I considered it a partial donation from them because of such a discount that they gave everybody to even buy those exclusives. And I noticed that when people won those as prizes, they were pretty excited. So I was happy to give those away, and I was glad that they were well received too, because like I said, I think they're pretty cool. Hey, Jack. Hey, man. No, like I said, I know everybody may get tired of hearing me saying thank you and I appreciate it and everything like that all the time, but like I said, it's not false, it's real. And so I just want, like I said, I just want everybody to know that when I say it, I mean it, and I don't want you guys to ever forget that I'm not going to forget. So So basically, what I would do as a little synopsis is like exactly what we're doing, like I do right now, like what I do on my Saturday night shows. Kind of chat with everybody for the first like 10 or 15 minutes of the show, and then we'll dive right in. And then if you've noticed the thumbnail, that's one of the tracks that I'm going to be doing tonight. And basically, what I'm going to be doing off and on between showing hop ups and stuff like that. On cars, and Mark can appreciate this, and anybody can that actually wants to tinker with their cars and try to make them a little faster. I know a lot of people on the channel like to race their cars, like Patrick and Jack and Mark. I mean, all of us race our cars at some point, way, but I mean, they take it to the next level. But this may be for the guy, the home guy, also that wants to take his car up maybe to another level too. So there's a lot of things that I can do on this show that I don't get a chance to do on Saturday nights. And I'd rather do this kind of stuff live. That way, if someone has a better idea or I show something that they've done before, or they think that there's something better, what I'm saying? Like I said, this is a learning channel for everybody, and it's not just for Scott. It's for everybody to learn. So I'm going to share what I know, and hopefully if you guys know something that I don't, you share it with me in the chat. Or if you're watching later, like I mentioned in the description below, be sure and leave a comment. And if it's a question, I'll try to answer it. And if I don't know it, then I'll reach out to one of the great people that I do know that are also in the hobby that might be familiar with whatever question you have, and we'll try to get it answered. Or if you have a something that you might want to see as far as tracks go, let me know and I'll see what I have. But we'll go from there. Mark with the K. They would like to see how to wire your track. Okay, so I'll make you guys a deal. So once I get that new camera, that should not be an issue because believe it or not, like I said, thanks again to Raul, and I apologize if he's still alive. I don't want to step on anybody else's toes. But anyway, with his recommendation with Conquest Racing, and thank you again, Raul, we're going to be getting the Insta 360 streaming cam. And basically, it's on its own little gimbal, and you can set it up to focus on you or certain area or certain positions and pre-program it so it'll move itself and focus in and stuff like that. And once I have that, then once I can get underneath the table and I can get the lighting and not have to worry about the little piece of crap here trying to focus or be in the way or whatever, then yeah, no, I have no problem getting underneath my table and showing exactly how I did it because yeah, I know that's a pretty popular thing, and I know looking at those wiring diagrams can be very intimidating to say the least. Because I know the first time I saw it my first thought was, wow, who do I know that's an electrician that I could ask that could come over and do this? And then the more I started looking at it, what I did is I broke down the 4 lanes into one. And then I just started from the power supply and started working my way up. And I was like, oh, okay, so the ground's constant. And then the power just gets up to the power supply. And then it goes to your distribution of where your controller is. And then it hooks into one side of the controller plug in. And then the power out goes the other side of the controller to the track. But anyway, no, that's the easiest stuff. And I'll be more than happy to show exactly how I do it. And if you're wiring your track before then like I said, I'll be more than happy to jump in on a StreamYard or whatever to help you out, man, or help anybody out, as far as that goes. I know we've got a lot of great people here that are more than willing to share their advice on how they wired their track. Because I found out that when I did mine, I did it with overkill as far as the gauge of wire. And I wish I would have known some of that stuff but before I did my wiring, because A, thinner wire is cheaper, and B, it's a lot easier to solder. Hey, machine gun. Yeah, I've seen those by the beach. The like the command control and then the TCRs. and the ideal stuff. Yeah. 35 on a Monday night. That's awesome, guys. I mean, like I said, I appreciate everybody that showed up because, like I said, I kicked it off, if you noticed, with the Batman set that I have that, and I'll get into whenever we start it up. But it's also, if you'll notice, it's from the Batman Begins. And so I thought that would be a cool way to kick it all off. Like I said, I try to tie some themes into some things here. And if you notice, I changed the angle on how we're viewing stuff tonight. That way I can see myself on the TV and kind of see the delay. And when I'm holding stuff, then hopefully I can adjust accordingly so it'll show up right in the picture. That's so awesome. Yeah, man, I cannot believe 36 people on a Monday night. No, see, those of you that aren't creators probably don't know this, but on the behind the scenes stuff that on YouTube, they give us a little map basically of when people that watch our channel or content like our channel are on YouTube. And I noticed that Monday nights at 7 o'clock my time was a dark purple line, which means it's very active. And I thought, well, I don't get a lot of stuff in on Saturday night, and there's a lot of stuff throughout the week with Pro Tinker Toys and slot cars and HO trains, and I know a lot of other people like to do their stuff throughout the week. So I was trying to pick one day, and I came up with Monday night, and I was like, well, they see me on Saturday night doing one thing, but they really don't see another part of the channel, which be like collecting and some of the other stuff that I have in my collections, and maybe why I collect, and stuff like that. So. Free Batmobiles for all. Man, don't you wish? Now, here's the thing, guys. I promise you this. If I ever win the lotto and you guys are fortunate enough to be on the live whenever I go live and say, hey, guess what, guys? I will literally buy everybody that's on that live stream whatever car they want as soon as I cash the check. But yeah, so there's my promise to you guys. If I ever win the lotto, then I will share with my slot car community friends, and everybody will get a car of their choice if I can find it. And obviously, if I win the lotto, I should be able to afford it. Replacing Slot Valley? No, well, mine's more HO content, and that's what I'm sticking to. And I'm not trying to step on any other HO creators' toes. But if they're mixed into both or they're dabbling into all of it, then I'm just worried about my HO crowd. So I don't feel like I'd be pulling any viewers away from their channels or anybody else that would be doing a larger scale, because most of them are into that scale and they dabble into HO. And most of the people that watch my channel, if they dabble in anything, it's in the larger scale, and their main stuff is HO. My main thing is HO, and I barely dabble outside with the Carrera 143rd. So that's why I didn't figure it would be too big of a deal for me to hop on and give some more HO content. And like I said, we've got a lot of knowledge from a lot of great people, and I'd like to try to get everything out there. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that I intended for the show got paused because of me having to move twice before I got to where I'm at. The Oprah Winfrey of slot cars. Mondays are HO. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, that's like I said, guys. I enjoy the other series. In fact, I try to watch as many of the other sizes as possible, so to speak. I was watching Boone's and others. The slot car guy and Terry, Dave Kennedy, among others, long before all of a sudden I discovered the other groups, like Conquest Racing and Dick Slot Car Garage and DNA and just the list goes on and on. But that's what led me to those Home Racing World, and that's a guy here in Missouri. So like I said, it's not that I don't appreciate those guys. It's just that my lane is HO, and I've learned as I've gotten older to stay in your lane, and hopefully you don't veer out of it too far and get smacked. Yeah, see, I love them all. Thank you, man. No, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. No, this is letting me know that this is a good idea. If only, there was only 5 good, loyal people that showed up, then I'd know that maybe, Monday nights isn't a really good thing to do. But if I'm seeing 37 or 40 people show up on a Monday night, then for an hour, I'm going to try to entertain you for at least with just some straight slot car stuff and have a little chat with you to see how everybody's weekend went. Obviously, by the beach, had a great weekend. I hope everybody's weekend was like that. Yeah, HO forever, Jack. The guy was a jerk. Ask if I knew this is a toy show, not a car show. Well, if they're HO cars, it is a car show. Uh-oh, there you go. You're definitely lighting some sparks yesterday, Jack. Yeah, I love my hose. When people don't know what HO racing is, and like I mentioned, when I call somebody, my caller ID pops up, Scott's House of HO Racing. So it just looks like Scott's House of Ho Racing because there are no dots on the caller ID. That's awesome. Cool. Well, hey, it's about a quarter after. So, like I said, I'm going to do 2 track sets and tonight, and then whatever time's left over after I do that, then I'll describe some of the things that I learned after last Saturday night, after the show was over. 2 out of the 3 other guys that race here, that we usually, the 4 of us that race together, showed up, and we were tuning on our cars. So this will be of interest to Mark. So hopefully you can stick around for the full hour, buddy. Grab that cup of coffee. and so anyway, yeah, I'll get into that later, but I'm just smiling because yours truly got to stay the king of his own track. So I'll explain a little later. But to get started tonight, like I said, I'll start with the thumbnail. And here we have the race to Gotham City. I'm waiting to see what the TV shows here so I know where to hold it. Boy, there's a serious lag. There we go. And as you can see, it's a simple figure 8. And what's ironic about Tyco that's different than AFX, in case none of you have purchased a Tyco or a Hot Wheels track in the past, is where AFX uses 15-inch power terminals, like right there. Tyco uses a 9-inch or a 6-inch. And then this is the only 15-inch piece of track on their figure 8. And that's a squeeze track. So you got a 6 and a 9, or a 9 and a 6. I can't remember which way it is, but they always split it like that instead of just having one 15-inch like the Infinity race sets with AFX, which I thought was unique. And I didn't realize that until I started buying a lot of these Tyco tracks. Now, obviously, this one's still sealed. It's brand new in the box. I was fortunate enough to find one this way. But don't fear, because before I had the track, I purchased the set cars that come in this box. So I do have them to show off. But there's a couple of things I wanted to show off on this set that were kind of unique, because a lot of us talk about our controllers, and the whole thing is the better you can control your car and get your feel for it, the faster you're going to be. And trust me, if I get to talk about it a little bit, I'm going to go into that DeFalco controller and my thoughts on it, because that's all I used on Saturday night. So I didn't do a side-by-side comparison. I wanted to start fresh like I did with my OS3 and fiddle with it until I got it the way I liked it. So anyway, what I thought was unique about this is if you'll see right here, it says it's got 2 3-speed controllers. And obviously the Batmobile and police car. Now, if you look at the police car, that doesn't even look like anything they ever made. And on the back, they do the same thing. Oops, there it is. See that? Okay. Well, that car was never made. I don't know where that car came from. It's not available. In fact, it's even showing up here at the top. Here, there you go. Now, what's ironic is the Batmobile is, but the car isn't. Yeah, the 3-speed controllers. So Mike be able to verify what I'm talking about here. So their cure before their solution to helping people with kids have fun with this track, before the variable power packs and the controllers, and if you've got a home track that's hardwired before you can turn down your voltage, Their idea was to use a manual type trigger so that it's got a little slide on it that limits the trigger travel on the controller. So depending on your skill level, depends on where you need to put that slider, which is kind of cool because on the lowest setting, just like what it would be on the Auto World variable power pack or on the AFX, you know, on the beginner setting on their three-way, that's exactly what it would be like. You could hold the controller wide open and the car will never come off the track because it doesn't give it enough voltage, which is pretty cool to keep kids on. So I think that was Mattel and Hot Wheels' last ditch effort to try to get kids involved in racing and how to find some way to keep the cars on the track that was inexpensive. And trust me, that, you know, just a simple little controller modification, and that was a brilliant idea in my book. And then regrettably, you know, they quit making sets. But so that's one thing that's unique about some of these Hot Wheels sets. So if you ever see where they say, oops, wrong way. If you ever see where it says 3-speed controllers, they're talking about a little switch on the controller itself that you can slide down by the trigger that limits the travel on the trigger. Hey, Roski. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think it's I think it's supposed to be some futuristic car, but I'm going to show the set cars here in just a second. Yeah, it's supposed to be some sort of futuristic cop car because that's, you know, the tumbler. So, but let's see here. What was the year? 2005. So this is towards the end of Hot Wheels Electric Racing, as it was known. So, yeah, this thing's 19 years old. Hey, Rick. All right. So, like I said, pretty cool set. If you followed me at all, if you go back at my old videos, I've got a whole thing on the Batman series and how the Batmobile was done. I'm a big Batman fan. Grew up watching it whenever I was a kid. Watched the Justice League. Watched it all. You know, like I said. So, you know, like I said, that's all we are with kids. I like racing the cars, but there's the other side of me that likes to buy stuff that I would have liked it to have had whenever I was young. And so anything to do with Batman, I try to get my little paws on if I can afford it. So I'll set that over there, but I will show you the cars. Oh, here, let me get a piece of track. So these are the cars that come in the set. And well, see, there you go, my stupid camera. Trying to show off the Gotham Police Department there. GPD is what that's trying to, stupid thing's trying to focus. There it goes. So yeah, GPD, Gotham Police Department. There's two versions of this Camaro if you're a collector. Hey, Rich, that's awesome. I told you it didn't even look close to what was in the box. Crazy, huh? I call it the cheese wedge, Mike. Oh, see, no, that would be cool. I have one of the AFX, the old, not the AFX, the old Tyco. Well, here, I'll just show you. Now, you know, obviously I'm a Mustang guy, but I bought this car. It's a jam car on an HP7 chassis that's lighted, and the lights up here light up. So pretty cool. But anyway, both of these are on the Mattel 440 chassis. Whoa, look, they're focused. Cool. Just like the tumbler. So, like I said, pretty cool little set. If you were a kid and you like Batman, that would be really cool to have. So, like I said, every set that I have, except for one or two, I have the cars that were from the set if it's sealed out of the set. But there's a couple of them I don't have. But if I have them, I'll show them. That way you can actually see what came in the box. I thought that was kind of deceitful advertising, if you ask me. You know, the old bait and switch, because that thing kind of reminded me like of an old Dodge of some kind, one of the 70s Dodges with those big squared front end or something. I can't remember the name of it. He was racing Scott on Scott's Hot Tub Cars. Yeah, so like I said, pretty cool. Well, that's what I thought was kind of cool is on the back window. Yeah, it's going to show it. You notice it says Hot Wheels. Get that glare out of there. Yeah, well, if it'll focus, it's got the Hot Wheels logo on it, and it's not going to focus. So, oh, I can't wait till we get our new camera. Thank you again, everybody. I can't wait because I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen the movie Office Space, but if you haven't seen it, it's a cult classic. And I strongly suggest if you want a good laugh, if you've ever worked in an office, you'll completely understand and you will hit the floor. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And you might want to watch it again just for a good laugh if you're looking for a good movie to watch. But that's what if you've seen that movie, my camera is the printer. And that's what I want to do to that camera. But Scott's brain also knows what ye destroys, ye has to replace. And like I mentioned, I want to use this camera since it's lack of focusing on stuff, just to put it on the TV for my race nights and use the other camera to show the track because it'll actually focus. So I can't destroy this one like an Office Space like I want to. But trust me, if I ever get to the point to, that will be one video you do not want to miss. The red stapler, yes. Where's my stapler? I love that movie. Oh, that's an awesome movie. Awesome, awesome movie. All right, so let's put Batman and the Gotham Police Department away. And then if you watched Saturday night, I showed, I believe, my members, but I don't think I showed on the live stream. I can't even remember what I showed all on the live stream. Send it to Brian, let him smash it. I saw someone pay for him to run over one of the Mayflowers or something. And I was just like, why? But, you know, hey, like I tell everybody, once you buy something, it's yours. And whether I like what you do to it or not makes no difference. It's yours. You do with it what you want. And so if you want to buy something, let somebody run over it with their car and autograph it and sell it to you. More power to you. That's just not what I would do. But anyway, yeah. So if I smash this one, I'll auction it off. There we go. Hey, you know, but like he says, you got to give them what they want. You know, if that's what the guy that wanted to buy it wanted to do with it, which makes, like I said, makes zero sense to me, but it doesn't have to make sense to me. It only has to make sense to him. Then, you know, you got to do what he wants to do to a point, I guess. But this was the second set that I was going to show off. Here, let's back it up. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's a couple things I'm going to point out that are unique about this set too. Once I show you, it's the NASCAR Showdown with Bill Elliott. Two of my favorite drivers. I grew up watching Mark Martin. I got to watch Mark Martin. If you missed it, I watched it. I was at his first ever asphalt NASCAR race, and I grew up a Bill Elliott fan just because I liked him and his brother's build. His brother built the motors and he raced the cars, and I thought that was pretty kick-ass. So if you've noticed, it has their pit stop on it. But it's not the electronic version that has the mechanical audio that tells you to pit after so many laps, depending on your lap speed, depends on how much fuel you burn. And then if you don't stop and take a pit on those, then it cuts you down to like half power or quarter power, and you can barely get around the track. So, but this one was the cheap version of that one, which, believe it or not, ain't so cheap to buy anymore, but it was. And here we'll. So it's a little bigger than your standard figure eight, and you know, at least you got one good long stretch to open it up. And if you're wondering how you got into the pits, yeah, here. You're wondering how you got into the pits. If you're going too slow, there's a little spring-loaded lever there. If you're going too slow, it redirects you into the pits. If you're going fast, you zip right by. So if you come out of that corner and don't gun it, you're going to go right into the pits. And you can come right out of the pits, but obviously if the guy that guns it goes straight, he's gonna get you. So you immediately have to gun it coming out of that corner. So the real trick would be to see how fast you could gun it here before flying off the track, so you make sure you didn't go through the pit. Pretty cool. Pretty ingenious idea. If you've noticed here, I picked a couple of tracks that had a couple of unique things with them, as far as little gimmicks, I guess, that I would, for lack of a better term, that they were looking to try to change the HO way of looking at things and try to get it more interactive with its user. And I thought that was a brilliant idea, especially with the one that I'm going to show somewhere down the road that actually has the mechanical version of the pit stop. And I've got, but I don't have one of those brand new. Both mine are open, so I'll be able to show you that piece and how that worked and everything. But that's how that one works. That's how I know that if you go too slow coming into the pit, that's how you get into the pit, because I've actually been racing on the other one and didn't go slow enough. And then my car ran out of gas and I had to pity putt all the way around the track before I could come back in. And then for sure, it was going slow enough for me to make it into the pit, but it penalizes you for sure if you don't do it. So anyway, it's a really cool little set. And what's really cool about it is I'm going to put it where, yeah, here we go. This is a set only car that McDonald's is right there. And you could only get it with the Cars and Crews, I believe. No, not even with the Cars and Crews. So yeah, it's a set only car, but it came with the Cars and Crew in the box, just like this. Yeah. Okay, I'll try to find one, Rick. A drive-through, no. Yeah, now see, what I think would be cool is, because those are little individual single lane tracks right there, if you've noticed. If there would be a way that you could digitize going into the pit like you can with the digital 1/32, somehow, some way, without it having to be speed controlled, I guess. But either way, if you could get that back into the game again, that would be pretty cool, in my opinion, because that's a new variant that you could add, except the control unit is so huge on those things that it really makes running a 4-lane track with a pit like that almost impossible. So yeah, it would take some adjustments, but it's pretty cool that, like I said, Mattel told their engineers, okay, there's certain things that, you know, we got to try to do to try to change the game to make people interested in slot cars again. So, hey, you know, hey, can we get the kids interested to play with it so the cars won't fly off the track and break all the time, so parents can actually give their kids a toy that they'll be able to play with without them even, you know, really watching them if they want, if they're age appropriate or whatever. And then B, you know, for the little more advanced guy, you know, being able to have a pit stop. I thought that was a pretty cool idea too. Yeah, like I said, and then the variable speed controller. You know, like I said, that's, you know, these are just all things that AFX and Tyco by themselves had, you know, what, 3 decades to come up with. That this thing came out in what year did this one come out with? Trying to find the date. Oh, okay, over here. 1999. So this thing's 25 years old. So what I'm getting at though is if you see what I'm saying, I mean, you know, AFX and Tyco tried to come up with like the pit stop and stuff like that, you know, but actually having a pit road, that's a great idea. Now, if you can incorporate that type of pit road with like the command centers like the Tyco and AFX came out with, see where I'm going here? There are things that we could do to the hobby, in my opinion, based on just the stuff that's already been created. If you just update it into modern technology, like AKA make it run off the track power instead of having to buy batteries, like Auto World makes you do with their drag sets and stuff like that. And even Tyco does some of their automated machines have to have a battery. So, you know, make it run off the track power. But there's ways that if someone wanted to invest the money, that you could really change the game for HO racing, in my opinion. And that would be one of them right there, is get a pit stop involved and electronic timing with it, and try to catch up to the larger scales. What time does the auction start for that? No, I got lucky. I'll just tell you guys right now, I got this off a vendor off eBay that had 20 of them for sale at one point in time, like 3 years ago, and I got it for 80 bucks. That same vendor is down to his last five, and now he wants 150 bucks a pop. So he's almost doubled his price in a little over 2 years because he's about out of them. So I was fortunate to get it for the 80 bucks when I got it, which ironically is about close to what sometimes people pay for that Bill Elliott car, that drive-through car, which, like I mentioned, if I'm going to show the set, if I have the car out, then I'll show it to you. And it just so happens that I do. So here are the set cars. Hey, there we go. As you can see, it says drive through, drive in through, McDonald's drive through on it. And it's got the black roof. There's two versions of the Bill Elliott McDonald's car, and this one is the set only. And then you can buy this Mark Martin separately on a card. Yeah, they've had the Novus polish. $150.14. Wow. So I think these are a couple of pretty cool cars. Like I said, that's one of the things that if you're a collector, then you really want that 94 McDonald's car, because like I said, it's a set only car. And then as a kind of like a little bonus, see, I got plenty of time to get into what happened with the racing last. I was going to leave the last 15 minutes of the show to talk about what we learned about testing our cars that we're going to be racing here real soon. I'm not all about just collecting or racing, I'm saying sometimes I buy memorabilia, or sometimes if somebody builds something that catches my fancy, kind of like this, they put a light on an HP7 that normally was a jam car for the slotless series. In case you didn't know where this Mustang came from, their TCR, Total Control Racing, or Command Control, one of the two, TCR. So anyway. I bought that like this. And so this is what I did with somebody tried to make their own Cars and Crew. You can see they did the cutout of the McDonald's car, and then they stuck the drive-through car in there with the people and stuff that come from that set. So I thought that was very ingenious, a way for me to be able to see the stuff that was inside that box. And like I said, it's opened. He made that. This is not something you can buy. And obviously because of that, you can see the McDonald's just sliding down. When I first bought it, he had it covering up the Hot Wheels car with the Hot Wheels crew doing the pit. But I got it because I knew what it was, and I just wanted the car and the little pit crew. A lot of people didn't look at it to try to buy it because they knew it wasn't real. They knew it was a fake. He was trying to sell it as the McDonald's car and crew, and technically he wasn't lying, but those are the 3 cars and crew right there. In case you're wondering, the ones that are listed cars and crew, there are actually 4 instead of 3. And since this is more of a collector thing, and an information thing than trying to sell anybody anything, if you remember from the auctions, I've shown 2 different Kyle Petties. One that has a different paint job color on it, and it has Red Lobster on the rear, on the trunk lid, and it has a different colored Hot Wheels track that circles the number on the side of the door, and some other sponsor changes and stuff like that, versus the one that comes in this package that has that car on it. Okay, so there's 2 of the Kyle Petties like that, obviously. One's a Hot Wheels Electric Racing, one of them's a Tyco Cars and Crew. Where I said there's 4 of these cars and crew is because there's 2 versions of this Kellogg's. They have a cost cutter version, and then they have the full sponsorship version. So if you're a collector, there's 4 of these cars and crews that you're going to want to look for. Not one of these. This is a fake. The ones here on the back. So there's 2 of these, but one's an electric racing. But there's actually 2 of the cars and crews Kellogg's number 5. Have a good night, Patrick. Thanks for joining in, buddy. Congratulations on your sale this weekend. So, like I said, if I have some knowledge or some history on some stuff, then I'm going to give it to you. So, I'm fortunate enough to have all 4 versions of the cars and crews. That's how I know this. And from my Tyco Bible, specifically, as soon as I saw that in there, then I went on the hunt. And when I get to the cars and crews, then I'll be showing those off, and then I can give more detail, and I'll show those 2 side by side like I did with the Kyle, or the Kyle Petty versions. So there's a McDonald's version that somebody had done. And then, of course, if they're going to do the McDonald's version, they had to do the Mark Martin version. And he did the same thing with the car. Mr. Jam Car, nice. And like I said, he did the same thing. This cars and crew people and crew and this whole little setup comes in that track set. So he just took the stuff out of a new track set, stuck it in this box, cut out a Mark Martin thing, and tried to tell everybody it was the Mark Martin Cars and Crew. Like I said, and it is the Mark Martin Cars and Crew, but it's not technically a licensed version. So, and now, like I mentioned, you can buy this car separately, where you could not buy the McDonald's drive-through car. This one is this set only. Rich knows that. Oh, I think he was trying to get more money out of it, to be quite honest, Mayor. I mean, because technically it is the it is the Mark Martin, and it is the McDonald's drive-through cars and crew, so technically it is what it is, but it's misleading to the point that they didn't actually make that in this package. It had to come in that track set. So, it is what it is. I bought it just because I wanted to see what was in the track set, and I knew the only way to do that was either open the one I had or get these bad boys. Yeah, it's very unethical. Oh, no. It was a vendor on eBay. In fact, he no longer sells stuff on eBay, ironically. So I'm guessing he probably did that to one too many people. You got to play by the rules, but irregardless, I got a couple of, like I said, I didn't pay that much money for him because people knew what he was trying to do that were looking as collectors. And so, yeah, it was worth it to me because I paid less for both of them like this than I would have if I just would have bought the cars individually. And to me, that's a good deal. So even if I don't want to leave it in there, I can take it out and I have the car. But I thought it was kind of cool just to leave it in their little hanger package there. You need the 6 car too. Okay. Yeah, I can. That was a lot easier to find than that McDonald's in good shape. But I'll get that. I'll look for that too. How much for the counterfeit bill? Nice. Nice. All right. So, hey, what do you know? I'm actually kind of on time for a change. You guys are going to be in shock. I was actually down to within 10 seconds of starting at 7 o'clock. And I said about a quarter till I wanted to stop talking about the slot car track stuff, or, whatever. And then the last 15 minutes talk about racing and hop ups and stuff like that I've learned. So without further ado, while I was digging, trying to find my dyno, I found my scale that I use to weigh bodies. And then if any of you remember, I told everybody that I love the GT40 body, and that was with the Mega G Plus. So I got a little basic little pocket size scale. And so what we found out was, this is my car. I call it the Ghost. Because it's so hard to see. It's just a Viper V spec, and yeah, with the AFX clip. And so yeah, you can see it's pretty sweet. This body weighs like 3.47 grams, and you can see from I wrecked and I've already lost the ass end out of it. It already lost that. But what I'm getting at here is his car. He took. Oh yeah, he took it with him. So one of the other guys that races here, he has this one, and he already lost his ass end, which is his car's a lot easier to see than mine. Weighs the very same as mine, so we were weighing them both to make sure they weighed the same. But what was interesting to me is my other buddy had me order that what's it called? The Takara, whatever, the red PTT GT40 pit kit, because those bodies with the AFX clip will fit onto a Viper. And we were wrapping up for the night, and I'll tell you why we and what time we stopped, and the reason why we stopped. Like 2 out of the 3 of us stopped. And anyway, the guy that had his car with that red GT40 on it was going around the track, and I said, doesn't his car sound quieter than ours? And they're like, well, no, I can hear it. It sounds the same. And I was like, no. Listen, I put my car back on the track and zipped around again, and you could, then it was completely, because when there's 3 cars going, it's hard to tell. But when there was just one car going and then the other car, then it was real easy to tell the difference. And they go, well, why is that? And I go, well, is the body thicker? So we take his body off and we weigh it, and it's a full 1.5 grams heavier than the AFX body. And so the first thing I told him to do was to yank out that front headlight assembly, kind of like what I had to do with Steffi's GT40 that she won on the 1K giveaway, to put her Harden Creek Super 7 chassis underneath it. I had to take out the headlight assembly so it would clear the front shoes. Snappy Myrtle. Yeah, that's the one. Snappy Myrtle. What? Yeah. I was rolling. Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, so he yanked that out of it, and he was still like almost 0.5 gram heavier than our AFX cars. Even, and part of it's because of the ass ends being knocked out of it. We still haven't found them. They were smacking so hard, which I'll get to in just a second. But anyway, so I said, well, dude, get rid of that glass. And so he took out that glass, and now with no glass, no front light insert on the nose, he's 15 hundredths heavier. And that's doable. But I thought that was very interesting how much we had to strip off of that brand new car just to get it down to what the AFX was already. And, you know, it was cheaper to buy a PTT pit kit on sale, you know, for 17, 18 bucks than it was to spend 30 bucks on just a body, and, you know, because you're just putting your Viper chassis underneath it. So I thought that was a very interesting little observation there that I would share. So if you're racing your cars like Mark does and they require a hard body, I would strongly suggest trying to find you an AFX GT40, and just for the mere weight factor. And then if they're not picky, if parts fall off of it, then you know you get the ass end to fall off and drop a few more grams that way. So turned out to be a very interesting, you know, finding tools and then finding out. And what was really wild was is we went ahead and we weighed like these Mustang bodies as an example. These damn things are heavy. They were almost 2 grams heavier than the GT40 bodies. And same thing with the stock car bodies. These things were almost just under 5 grams. That's how big and bulky they are. So if you're looking to race, if you know this by racing, um, the less weight you have, and the mayor knows this just from one-to-one racing, just as I do from one-to-one racing, the less weight you have, the easier it is for your horsepower that you have to be used. You're going to be quicker, faster, and handle better because you don't have as much as what they call sprung weight. And so if you can get rid of, like I said, with the scale that we're working with, every little bit helps. And so if you can get grams off of your car, then that's something I want to share with you guys, because a lot of you guys may not know that, and you may be racing with your buddies. And if you're just wanting to pick up something to try to give yourself that little bit of extra advantage, then that's why I suggested this. The bronze. Okay, so do you use? Yeah, you use the AFX version too, don't you, Mark? Spec Racer, yeah. Inertia, yes. There you go. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. These things, these bodies are great. See, so I got a guy that races in his clubs backing me up, and how we found this out is okay. So this was the body that my buddy was using whenever he was smoking us all with our other bodies. I had a Mustang body on mine, if you remember, and my other buddy had a Camaro on his. And this guy was just smoking it. So I started looking for these Trans Am bodies. And if you remember from watching the show, I got a couple of them that were set cars that were in perfect shape, or one of them was in perfect shape. They both lights worked and everything, but I didn't want to break them after I saw what was happening to his car. And then I popped my body on this, or my chassis on this body, and I started smoking that thing, which leads me to the other part of the show. And I'm going to try to get it to show up on the camera here just a second. I was hoping to see him here. Hey, yeah, hey, Jeff. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. So that's what I was going to say. So what other bodies besides these, you know, we got like 7 minutes left. What other bodies that you guys have you found, if you're running a spec hard body class, that you like to race? I know I have yet to find a better body so far that I like than this one, because it's light, low, lean, and mean. Um, let me, like I said, I'm going to try to pull up the, oh yeah, here we go. And I'm going to see if it'll show up on the, so these, oh, is it going to show it? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Um, see those best times? Red, white, blue, yellow. Oops, sorry. Trying to level it out. There we go. Though the red, the white, and the yellow are me. And the blue lane I never even got to race in. And ironically, my best lap in the red lane was a 354.9. The white lane was a 354.9. And then in my yellow lane, which is the slowest lane of them all, I managed to get a 373 out of. And my buddy that has that GT40 over there ran the 353. So he had fast lap of the night on the track, but I never got a chance on lane 3. So I got 3 out of the 4 fast laps for the night. Oh, cool. BMW M1. That's another good one, Jeff. Yeah. Yeah, see, he had a Corvette, one of the Blazing Brakes, the older ones that he was wanting to use. And here's the, I'll try to get to focus in again, the number of laps that each lane got ran. And those last lap times in the yellow lane are what I ran at the very end of the night. Yeah, no pink lane. I'm sorry. So my Viper V spec right here. The guy, my buddy that has his right over here, he ran a 353.5, and I ran a 354.9 in two of the lanes and a 373.3. So basically, I'm just calling it 3.5 seconds around the track. So what I did is, like I mentioned, I took Mark with Mark Slot Car Garage. I took his advice, and I figured, well, I'm waiting on some parts from Viper, so why not order some more parts from Viper? And so I got some magnets and I got some goodies coming along the way. But one of them is the independent front end. Oops, here, I'll spin it around. See, I'm trying to get to focus, see if it will. Ah. It's right at 69 feet, Mike G Bud. Open up that yellow number 4 car. Yellow number 4. Yeah, I see a lot of people run that Arbuckle. I see a lot of people run that new body that Dash came out with. That the windshield basically has the rear gear coming out of it. Oh, the collection. Oh, back here. Oh, this one. That one. Yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah. Now I see what you're saying. Hey, Mike. Thanks for stopping in, man. So I got this is for my Tyco right here. This is an independent front suspension. Front end setup. Basically, if you didn't know what it is, it's just aluminum hubs that are held on with these little plastic retainers on the rims, and they spin independently of each other. So you can spin a wheel, and then they're not together. So what I'm getting at is next weekend. We're going to be trying those out. The guys are coming over besides some of the maxi magnets and stuff like that I bought, and different tire heights and firmness. We're going to, first thing I'm going to do as a comparison, the reason why I was showing you those times as a reference, because all I'm going to change first is the front end. So that's all I'm going to change and see how much of a difference that makes on it time wise. So GT40 in yellow, maybe? Yeah, that would be awesome. I need to buy some extras. Okay, so here's the thing about the GT. Some of the new AFX cars. Some of the newer cars have the body clip built into the body now, and so you can't use the clip anymore to run your Viper chassis. So you got to be very careful if you're planning on buying a Viper now and wanting to use an AFX body, because there's a good chance, if it's one of the newer models that have come out in the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, there's a good chance that it's going to have that body type that the clip is built into the top of the car and comes down and clips in, and there's no longer a clip that clips over the chassis itself. So even on some of the GT40s, you've got to be sure and check that. But no, I thought about getting one, but I've got some Viper stuff coming in black. I got my independent front end in black instead of, this is natural aluminum. One more hour to go. No, one more minute to go. The show's only an hour tonight. Yeah. So no, that's well, the last minute, real quickly, or maybe just a few minutes over, I'll go over my thoughts on the DeFalco. I'm going to have to compare those boys now that I've got that one set up the way I like it. I'm going to have to, and I've got my OS3. No one else races with it. I've got mine's in red. Even though these are house controllers, I keep it over there. So now that I've got them both set up, next Saturday night when the guys come over, I'm going to get a few baseline laps in with the DeFalco again, because all those lap times you saw were made with my DeFalco controller. Thank you again, Chris, with Southern Slot Racing. I haven't seen him on here. But I'm going to try to just immediately, once I get warmed up and get in rhythm, then just swap over controllers and see how much of a difference it makes. Because playing with that sensitivity knob really makes a difference on how much it coasts through certain corners and stuff. It's not like a brake, but it's the sensitivity on your throttle. So how much you let off, how much it slows down. So anyway, I was really impressed with it. It did take me a few laps to get it going. I mean, I had it set at neutral at the very beginning, straight up and just right in the middle. And I barely touched the trigger. My car it took off. Like, whoa, Nelly, how do I slow this thing down? But anyway, after about 10 or 15 laps of playing with the knob a little bit, and then I started getting where I could get my trigger feel like I did with my OS3. I kind of like it. So, like I said, I'm going to do a direct comparison side by feel and see if one's different lap times or anything like that, or if I have to drastically change the way I drive to be able to use one controller or the other. Oh, okay. So you use one of the axle spacers that the Viper sells that also can be used as an armature spacer, like what I'm doing to space my arms on my Tycos here. Is that what you're talking about, Mark? Yep. Okay, cool. Thank you for the tip. See, guys, that stuff because I was looking at this and I was like, man, those things just grind in on the side right there, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So awesome. Thank you for the tip. That's why I do these shows, guys. And I encourage people, thank you, Mark, like that to chip in. If you've got other ideas or stuff that are going to help make a car faster that are inexpensive, like those little shims are nothing in comparison to some of the parts I just bought. But all in the name of speed. And you got to remember, since I bought parts, then I had to buy parts for everybody else because, if I put parts on my car, make it faster than their car, and then we get to playing and racing, then they're going to say, well, that's not fair. You got all those parts on your car. So everything that I bought for my car, I bought times 4. So yeah, my Viper bill was quite extensive. So I wonder how many Hot Wheels I'm going to get in that one, eh, Mark? Hey, Danny. Thank you for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. My German Shepherd's mad because I didn't feed them before the show because they normally get fed at 7 o'clock. But I knew if I fed them, that we would have little dog barking matches in the background going on, and I didn't want that going on during my show. So once again, guys, well, hey, I'm over my 1 hour mark, but I hope everybody was entertained with the first episode of the Monday Night Slot Cars. Like I said, I'm kind of stealing Monday Night Football and just sliding in slot cars at the end. Like I said, and this is kind of the content that it's going to be. It's going to be rapping with you guys. Whoever shows up for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the show, show a couple of tracks or new items or items that I have that, like I said, you don't see in this room and probably will never see unless I get them out here in front of a camera, and maybe tell some history or some collectability on some of the stuff like I did tonight too. So hopefully it's a little entertaining and see some stuff you haven't seen before, maybe learn a little something. And then the last 15 minutes of the show, I'm going to be dedicating it to my journey with my Viper car and the parts that I put on it and what kind of times and how much it helped my car and driving and stuff like that. So without further ado, guys, once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the channel. Thank you for stopping by tonight on my first ever episode. If you weren't able to join live, please comment down below and try to join in. And if there's a question or a suggestion, please let me know about it. And one last thing before I get out of here and let you guys have the rest of your Monday evening to unwind. Don't forget, Wednesday night, I'm putting out another video for the 4th and final week of the Trip into 2K giveaway. And it's going to be a I want to win entry video. So doesn't matter. You don't even have to watch the video if you don't want to. Just click on it and comment, I want to win, and you'll be entered. But that's how I'm going to be doing the final contest for this Saturday night. And trust me, if there is any way possible that you can join Saturday night, trust me, you want to be a subscriber, you want to comment on that video, and you want to be live to try to win some of the prizes that are going to be given away, because other than with Patrick's generosity for donating those cars on the very first night of the giveaway, which was awesome, and I still can't believe, and then people giving in other stuff to give away like Brian and Adam did, Don't You Wish You Knew, and so on. this night, just for the 5 gifts, is going to be the most dollar value night out of all the nights. So the last night, the grand finale, you don't want to miss it. You don't have to pay for anything except just give me a subscription, a thumbs up, like, and then comment on that video on Wednesday night. So guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Look for that Wednesday night video if I can spit it out. Hopefully I see you all again in person on Saturday night and I get to be slot car Santa Claus again. Thanks again, guys. Have a good night. Enjoy your evening. Light some sparks and melt some plastic. Bye-bye.